Assassinode 17 back again. Last video in the series, I think, and this is going to cover the PC case. Now, this is the case of a Dell Dimension 5200. And as you can see, it's very empty at the moment. We start at the faceplate, where all PCs have a faceplate. Most of them nowadays have the whole front removed. But as you can see, only this small section has been removed, and this is the only section that's removable on this particular case. You've got your power button, and depending on if you bought your computer or whether you made it yourself, you might not have these stickers, but these tell you operating system, CPU type inside. We can see the bare front ports, USB, there's some indicator LEDs around here. And we've got our two audio jacks that are unlabeled because they're only labelled on the front panel. Now, I've got my front panel here. As you can see, there are some drives that are covered up. These will be the blank ones. So you've got a 5.25 inch, I think that is, and a 3.25 inch. I think that's right. I'll have a check when the video's done. You see the ports are now labelled. We've got USB connectors there, and then we've got audio, headphone and microphone. Now, most of them nowadays they require screwing in. This is just a simple, you push it in. Wait a sec. Simple push in and clip in thing, and you remove it similarly by pushing down on this blue thing. It came with the CPU fan. This is a very sort of manufactured case designed for just this motherboard. So I might do the whole installation in a second, but this is another big fan. I think that's another 12cm, but it looks sort of bigger. We've got these are becoming less of a common feature. These are toolless drive bays. You would slot your hard drive into that and then just push it in. I could just get the cable out of the way and just push it in, down again, and then your SATA data cable and your power cable come over, slot into there. We've got this is the CPU fan, and this is our 4-pin connector for it that will go on the motherboard. And then we've got the IDE for the front panel, and we've got the other end of that SATA cable. That's all that we've got in there for now. Now, as you can see on the case, there are these bumps. These bumps here, these are where you'll screw your motherboard into, and they're raised like that so they don't come in contact with the rest of the metal surface. If you can see it, the top of the bump is flattened off, and that will come in full contact with the metal ring that's on the motherboard. Now, cases might not have that. I know my other one didn't. It came instead with this thing, which is known as a riser. Now that will screw into the bottom, and the top part is where you'll screw your motherboard screw in. The bottom part is where you'll screw into your case, and that will provide the contact with the metal ring on the screw hole, and that will keep it grounded to prevent the build-up of static, etc. Got the big square hole power supply, and as you can see here, instead of having, this is why I say it's a very manufactured case, not designed for any other motherboard, is because the back plate is not removable. I'll show you around here. It's all, no screws to take it off, no way to punch it out. It's all welded into place. And over the rest of the back we see where the expansion cards will be. This is a little thing to hold it in place. Again, toolless. It's just a little, if I can find the little thing here. Ah, there we go. See that popped out, and then you would screw in your expansion card there and just pop that back in, so they're hidden, covered, and secured. Now, as you can clearly see, there are spaces for CD drives and a floppy drive or another card reader maybe. And this in itself is the case. Most cases nowadays are designed to provide as good airflow as possible. You would normally have an intake fan at the front, which makes me think, yeah, this is probably the intake fan. Then you'd have the exhaust fan at the back. Probably I should have one on this grate, this grill here. and that will provide airflow going from the front to the back of the case to keep all the components cool, so there's a constant flow of air going across it. Now you might have water cooling, but I have no way of demonstrating that because I've got none of that apparatus here. But as you can imagine, I don't know if this but before I took all this apart there was a lot of dust, and that's why it's important to probably clean your PC case out every so often. Make sure there's not a lot of dust in there, because it can make the temperature build up with the dust in there clogging up the vents, and you don't want that, because the hotter it gets, the shorter the lifespan of your components is. I would do installing the motherboard and install it in the case and install everything else, but that is going to take way too much time than I have. But as you can see, it's pretty much covered. Just screw in there. Before you screw it up, line it up with your backplate. It'll make your job a lot easier. Line up all the input outputs with the backplate, and then you'll find that all your screw holes are already lined up, because not every screw hole is needed, because that's another point I forgot to cover. Cases come in different sizes because motherboards come in different sizes, so you'll have ATX, which is a full-sized one, and I think that's the one I got there, and then you'll have micro ATX, which is a little bit smaller. You can have mini ITX, which is tiny. Those are the really tiny modded ones that you see people using, and I think you can get AT, which is a very old standard now. They don't do that anymore, and that's an old one. And I think that's all the sizes I've covered. I think there's probably more, but that's why there's plenty of different screw holes, because not every one of these screw holes will be used to secure the casing. These four are just used for the CPU fan, because that needs a lot of securing, because that heatsink was huge. But I think I've covered everything. If there's any questions, just ask away and I'll try and answer, or maybe I'll do another video on it. Back to the series. See